Welcome back. What's happening? Another episode of the Squad Show. Luke Inman filling in for Sam Ekstrom, who, we can only hope he's stuck in the middle seat next to Gosder Chairless on his flight today.
I'm Luke Braun of Locked On Vikings. I went 2-0 for the first and probably last time this season.
I hate that for you. Hey, this is Arif Hasan with Wide Left Football, and if it's any clue as to how this show is going to go, Luke Inman had me go over the 2011 Philadelphia Eagles Dream Team roster before we started.
Skol! It's the Viking Squad. Everything Minnesota Vikings, every week. Breaking down all the big hits and game-changing plays from the land of 10,000 lakes, the way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. It's time to gear up. The Viking Squad Show starts now.
He peed on a guy. Gosder Chairless. He peed on a guy. You can't do that, man. What's happening? Another episode of the Squad Show as the Vikings prepare to take on the Cincinnati Bengals this Sunday at the bank. So glad you're with us. We're on the Locked On Vikings YouTube channel. Find all the audio on the Locked On Vikings podcast feed, wherever you find your podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, liking, subscribing, commenting in the chat for the next 60 minutes or so as well. On today's show, got a jam-packed episode. What's it going to look like with Carson Wentz taking center stage this Sunday versus the Bengals? Plus, I got some hypotheticals for us, like what happens if Wentz goes 3-0 heading into the bye week. Then what do you do? A flurry of injuries to touch on. Aaron Jones sitting in the IR. What's the running game going to look like? And it's Thursday. That means Ron Johnson stopping by. We'll get his hot takes as well. Let's just dive right into it, guys. JJ McCarthy, obviously set to miss the next, 2 to 4 weeks with that high ankle sprain. In comes the golden boy, the Red Rocket 2.0, Carson
Desmond
Wentz.
Ritter, yeah.
Desmond Ritter, sure. Ritter. I mean, that's a take, yeah. 10-year vet,
Big time, the Athletic Football Show guy.
Most recently in the Andy Reid system. Before that, the Sean McVay system. Doug Peterson, obviously, for all those years in Philly, where he got a ring, and now for the Vikings, flipping over, thinking about their offense. The first 2 weeks, 7 of their 8 quarters this season it's been rough, man. It's been god awful, almost unwatchable. We talked about it on Monday. I think the pie chart of blame. A lot of different factors to kind of sift through for all their struggles. Backup left tackles, a center who's never played, guard making his second start last week. You're missing Jordan Addison. You're missing Christian Darrisaw. Ryan Kelly suffered that 4th career concussion. Obviously, JJ takes some of the blame, but I felt like we were all in agreement that KOC needs to have a moment where he looks in the mirror, got to shoulder a heavy load of the criticism for the play calling, the lack of flexibility, I guess, if you will, just knowing the environment he was putting JJ McCarthy into. So I guess my first question, what's it look like Sunday with Carson Wentz now? Like, A, what are we getting with Wentz? What's he kind of bring to the table that may be an upgrade from JJ? And then B, is KOC going to tweak anything? Are we going to see any adjustments with the game plan, the play calling, et cetera, this week? Or now that KOC has this 10-year veteran, I'm thinking, is he just going to lean even further into this addiction, dropping his quarterback back 7 steps, pushing the ball downfield? He's hooked, man. So,
Arif, you're much more familiar with Carson Wentz's game.
Okay.
Why don't you field this one?
Yeah, since he's your
you're
favorite prospect,
intimately familiar with Carson Wentz.
Since he's your favorite
no, we don't
prospect
gotta
of all
go
time.
that. Okay, no, hold on, chill. No, okay, so we're gonna drop the bit for like a second at least. I actually don't think anything will particularly change. I don't think that Carson Wentz's profile as a passer is all that different from kind of what JJ McCarthy is, and I don't mean that as an insult to either of them, but rather when you look at his strength and weakness profile, it's actually kind of similar. I think at right now, and obviously it pains me to admit this, Carson Wentz's weaknesses aren't nearly as debilitating at the moment, although I think a lot of the problems are probably due to volatility more than anything else. But the thing is, how do you, in essence, how would you design like a Carson Wentz offense? Well, you would do it with a fair amount of play action.
It'd be like Kyle Sloter. He would just do whatever he wants.
You're put into a box, right? And now you have to design a Carson Wentz offense you're going to do it with a reasonable amount of play action. Well, the Vikings have done that with J.J. McCarthy more than I think in previous seasons under Kevin O'Connell. Like, we had always kind of like thought of Kevin O'Connell like coming from the McVay system. He would be a play action guy, and he kind of wasn't under multiple, systems, multiple quarterbacks. Well, here J.J. McCarthy is. That's also what I would do with Carson Wentz to try and maximize what's happening there. Also, they're both going to hold on to the ball anyway. Like, that's just what both of them do. Right? That more true for Carson Wentz's 2019-2020 seasons with Philadelphia than with his like Rams and Colts seasons. But I do think that that's kind of who he is as a passer. And so you would want to design deeper routes in that system, which is something KOC already loves doing. And because if you're going to have a guy hold on to a ball, then do that, right? If you have an offense that plays with shifts and motions, goes to the play clock late or goes to the line of scrimmage late in the play clock. It's better to do that with a veteran quarterback than it is with a rookie quarterback. Operationally, it's smarter. And I think, again, I hate saying stuff like this, I think Carson Wentz will have the operational side of the Vikings offense run smoother than McCarthy did. And so I don't know that the biggest problems here are problems that should be avoided given the costs of kind of maybe emphasizing some of Wentz's weaknesses. Because with an inaccurate quarterback like Wentz, and at the moment McCarthy, you want a more explosive offense. Because if you're going to be missing passes, at least make the ones you hit count, right? So I don't know that the offense is going to change at all, and I actually think it would be a good thing if they didn't really change the fundamental philosophy and design of the offense. Obviously, you got to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure that the execution is up there for the players. But I don't know that it would change the offense.
Yeah, I think you're very right to point out the logistics of it more than the actual schematic. How much did they go deep? How much did they go short? I could see Kevin O'Connell simplifying things a little bit because Carson Wentz has only been there 2 weeks. But then I think about that he didn't do that for Josh Dobbs, who had been there for 4 days. Yeah, right. So I guess maybe not. He just won't do that ever. And he didn't do that for the young quarterback who's been struggling with it. But as I watched that Atlanta game and pay a bunch of attention to what went wrong and think about why, what would explain all of this in both games, issues in the huddle. Issues in relaying the play call, people saying check, wasting time. That would explain a lot. It would explain the late breaks in the huddle. It would explain how very often the line didn't know what it was supposed to do. How the spacing is messed up and all that. The sloppiness, a lot of it can be explained by an issue in the huddle. Carson Wentz at least has proven that he knows how to operate a huddle. And that's something that is very worth sticking it out with a young quarterback and letting him work through that. And I'm sure they'll continue to do that after the bye or whenever McCarthy gets back. But yeah, that problem going away might help in the meantime a little bit. And it might help the Vikings figure out what everybody else can and can't actually do. And I know we're going to talk about it later, but then that creates the question, okay, well then why would you put the young guy back in if he can't operate the huddle? And the answer is so that he can learn that. Mm-hmm. But I think with Wentz, the thing he was most famous for was going off script when he shouldn't go off script. So it's going to be that. That's why I mentioned the Kyle Sloter thing earlier. It's going to be you can call whatever play you want. He's just going to do whatever he wants. And we'll see now at this point in his career, that was a critique of him year 3. At this point in his career, is it going to be the same critique? But that's probably what changes.
By the way, KOC on the Paul Allen show each and every Tuesday, he said, hey, JJ missed Thursday's practice last week because the birth of his first child, and Carson Wentz steps in there. He said the ball only hit the ground once all day.
How many picks did he throw?
Oh my God. that's
that is an interesting way to put that.
Yeah, right. that is coach speak at its finest in a nice
fumble.
Positive spin. But he didn't fumble. Yeah.
Which is, by the way, the fumble bit. I unearthed a stat in editing Matt Freese's piece over at WideLeft.Football today. Plug. I looked up Carson Wentz's total fumbles and fumble rate since he's entered league 2016, and he is third since 2016 in total fumbles, and the only player inside the top 10 to have fewer than 4,000 plays and still be in the top 10 in total fumbles, and he's number 3. Unsurprisingly, he ranks first out of any player with at least 2,000 plays, any quarterback with at least 2,000 plays. Since 2016, he ranks first in total fumble rate. Now, if you only look at plays where he was contacted, right? Quarterback hit, quarterback sack, or a run, right? Which, you're not necessarily contacted in a run. You could go outside. But like on plays where you might expect contact, he only ranks 14th of 39. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I think it's telling that maybe the difference between 14th and first there is that he invites a lot of contact. And that is I think a fairly prescient criticism of this guy, that he invites a lot of the pressure that he receives, just like McCarthy did the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, fantastic nerdy stat there, and a huge red flag for sure. That what could be to come, I guess, not just Sunday, but the next couple weeks. I got a dumb question for you guys. I just want to ask you about this stat per Alec Lewis via The Athletic. Through 2 games, almost 100 offensive snaps, the Vikings have ran just 3 quick game concepts, and that's not just a small sample either. He goes on to say, since 2023, KOC actually ranks dead last in the NFL in this quick game passing attempts per game. How much of a problem?
How does he define quick game? Because
that was kind of my. Is it 3-step drops? Is it the bubble screens? Is it
right? Because you can
time to get the ball out of your hands situation. What is it? Quick release. What is it?
Right. Yeah. So you can divide the different types of statistics you have. So Alec, I believe, still has access to a tool that we call True Media, which is a really powerful tool that can go into really deep splits and stuff like that. And one of the splits that he may still have access to is drop back depth or even drop steps. Maybe.
We have True Media here at the Locked On Podcast Network now. Unfortunately, they do not have drop back depth anymore for us. Okay. I think they do for teams, but not for us.
Okay. So if you have something like that, you can maybe define a quick game by your drop back depth or the steps in your drop back. That, I think, would be probably the most legitimate way to do it. My concern is that it is defined by the proportion of passes that occur under a certain period of time, 2.5 seconds, 2.3 seconds, whatever you want to define quick game as. And that is not a scheme stat. That's a quarterback plus scheme stat.
Got it.
And KOC has been essentially dead last, I think 32nd last year, 31st the year before, in proportion of passes from quarterbacks he's coaching that occur under 2.5 seconds, right? But that proportion is, for Sam Darnold, it was 31% dead last in the NFL. For the melange of quarterbacks we had in 2023, that was 31st in the NFL, 41%, something like that. That is a far cry from what's happening with McCarthy, who is hovering around like 6%. Like that to me is not a KOC stat at that point. That's a McCarthy stat. And that's him holding on to the ball, unless we have statistics about where the receivers are breaking off in the route or where the drop back.
Yeah, that was my perception watching it, was like, I don't know what he can throw at the top of his drop. It's wild how even on a 3-step drop, the routes are 20 yards and he's just like standing there at it, which makes the tackle's job like impossible. All you do is you put the quarterback at an impossible angle and have him stand there. So just make me very forgiving of like Brian O'Neill.
Just a sitting duck. Yeah.
I understood the O'Connell offense to be like the first route is breaking at the top of the drop. Like that's like a really key component of like the timing of this. And that's just like not true. And I think it might be that McCarthy is doing those dropbacks too quickly or doing the wrong drop back with the wrong play or something like that. But something is disjointed.
All right. What happens when Carson Wentz goes 3-0 heading into the bye week? A couple hypotheticals. Ron Johnson stopping by to help us with that. We just, excuse me. We discussed that and more right after this. Quick reminder, today's episode brought to us by 5 Hour Energy. Guess what? Your caffeine just got a huge flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine with 17 bold flavors, each 2-ounce shot packs, the caffeine of a 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins, nutrients, 0 sugar. That means 0 crashes as well. What I love the most, how portable they are. Take them anywhere. It's the big taste in a tiny shot. You can take them anywhere and get that boost whenever you need it. Honestly, I love how fast it kicks in and that it's sugar-free. I don't got to worry about crashing later on in the day. So enough with the boring flavorless caffeine. Time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots. Get the favorite you love or be bold. Try something new in-store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. All right, as we wait for Ron Johnson to stop by here, a couple of hypotheticals. One, Carson Wentz, let's just say, hypothetically, he comes in. Who knows what it looks like? A win is a win. Maybe, 3-0 the next 3 weeks. Again, you got Cincy this week at the bank. Then you go across the pond. You got Pittsburgh, and then you got Cleveland. Let's say he goes 3-0 into the bye week. By the way, team coming out of the bye week, Philadelphia Eagles at the bank as well. But let's just say he goes 3-0, hypothetically. What's the game plan? Your KOC, Arif. What's the game plan? What's the blueprint? What are you thinking? You roll with the hot hand with Carson Wentz, the veteran, or you go back to the rookie?
You're muted, Arif.
The record part doesn't matter to me. I think what really just matters is the process, right? Is he playing well? Is he playing at a really high level? Is he playing at a level that's at least notably and significantly higher than McCarthy's level? If he is, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that you roll with him because, again, as we discussed on the last show, this is kind of a win-now team. You kind of owe it to all the veterans on the roster to try and win. They're not here to develop a quarterback. They're here to win, right? That's the job that they signed up for. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're 0-3 and Carson Wentz is playing better, you got to stick with him. The record part is not important, but I do think that is an important conversation to have, right? To discuss what parameters by which we would kind of stick with this guy versus, have the young guy play.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good critique for when they don't do that. Looking at how Darnold played last year, he was in MVP talks on and off at times in that season, and they didn't do it, right? And they weren't really that, if I understand, if there was an offer put out to Sam Darnold, it was not that serious of one. So I kind of think that gives us at least a sense to know where the Vikings are at in terms of where that threshold is. Because there is a threshold. There must be a threshold. If Carson Wentz plays like the MVP of the league, you'd never sit him, no matter who your quarterback was behind him.
Yeah, it's like continuous value theorem, right? There's a maximum and a minimum, right? But somewhere there's a threshold in the middle where you got
somewhere there's the line.
Yeah.
And we learned that Sam Darnold's year last year was below that line. They were still motivated to go with McCarthy unless the deal was so unbelievably good and cheap, and it wasn't, and it shouldn't have been for Darnold.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. So I think you got to be at least better than that, right? He has to play at least better than Darnold. And I kind of do think, I don't think the record should matter, but it will. So I'm kind of taking this from a different angle than Arif. But if Wentz plays really, really, really well, and then they put him back on the bench and the offense sputters again, I think we can bring up exactly everything Arif said as a critique.
Let's bring in Ron Johnson, host of the Ron Johnson Show, each and every Tuesday. Give him a follow on X at 3Ron Johnson. Ron, we're discussing right now a hypothetical, but let's just say Carson Wentz rips off 3 wins in a row before JJ comes back in, heading into the bye week. Do you roll with the hot hand, or do you hand the reins back to the young kid, to the golden boy? Does it matter what it looks like? A win is a win, sure, on paper, but there's obviously a lot of ugly wins. Maybe Flores' defense bails you out a couple times. Whatever it may be, what's just your, I guess, knee-jerk reaction or thought process as far as rolling with a hot hand like Carson Wentz or going back to the kid?
Well, I had Robert Smith on, former Vikings running back, and that's the first thing I asked him is there going to be a quarterback controversy? The answer is this is Minnesota, so I would expect nothing less. The Minnesota Vikings continuously
very true.
To just find ways to make our lives kind of fun and a lot to talk about and a lot to do, because I can imagine myself coming back from the international games, heading to the bye week, and our first show out the gate, Eagles. Do you put Carson Wentz against his old team, and he's hot right now, or do you send J.J. McCarthy back out there, who you haven't seen for 3 weeks? Does J.J. McCarthy sputter out the gate? Does Carson Wentz start getting the chants from the fans? And does J.J. McCarthy get booed? Mental health is huge, and so does that weigh on the young rookie's mind that there's a guy waiting in the wings that can absolutely sling the ball. Or is Carson Wentz going to go out there and suck for the next 3 weeks? And we're like, man, I can't wait for JJ McCarthy to get back. So this is what Minnesota sports is about. It's about hope and help and love and then just crush you and crush your dreams, crush your hearts. And then they bring you back to life because they're going to make the playoffs and they're going to end up in the NFC North Championship. And then they're going to find some other way. Other than going to the Super Bowl, I don't know what else this story and this year can bring. But the one thing I will say is if Carson Wentz is hot, if he wins 3 games, if he's throwing for 300 yards a game, you cannot go back to JJ McCarthy. I hate to say it. You can't. You have to figure it out and let him ride it out just like you did with Sam Darnold. And then maybe Carson Wentz gets another, $50 million deal from another team out there looking for a quarterback next year because we know the Miami Dolphins are probably going to be looking for a potential quarterback and coach at this rate. And so I would say it's going to be tough to go back to the hot hand. Go back to the rookie. But I also believe that they put all their stock into this kid. I don't care what Carson Wentz does besides, take off the mask and he's really, Scooby-Doo under there or something. I don't know if there's anything. He wins a bunch of games and then he pulls the mask off and it's really Sam Darnold.
It's just a different ginger. Yeah.
Just a different one. I don't know what.
we are taking him back to England. Maybe some magic can happen.
Hey,
yeah, come on,
bagpipes, kilts. you bring it. I don't know what he can do to keep the job because honestly, and I hate this. I'm not gonna be a conspiracy theorist where people are gonna be like, oh, he's gonna make the offense. They're gonna win, but they're gonna make the offense just bland enough that he doesn't. Like Cam Akers is gonna go for 85 yards, and then Jordan Mason's gonna have 140. I could see something like that to say we still need JJ McCarthy back. But again, McCarthy's main target is Jordan Addison. We haven't seen him in a game with Jordan Addison. I think that's the other key we're forgetting too is Jordan Addison might enter this conversation and all of a sudden we're like, whoa, where did that 160 yards come from? And it's going to be Jordan Addison. So there's so many pieces to this puzzle. It's going to be fun the next couple of weeks. I have not prepared more for a game than this pregame show this Sunday to be able to bring up old Carson Wentz stats versus the Bengals, bring up old Carson Wentz conversations, second down and how he's one of the best second down quarterbacks with the Eagles. I can't wait to talk about all that. But at the end of the day, I feel like the Vikings put all their eggs in the basket of JJ McCarthy. They can't not put him back in there. It's gonna create all kinds of weirdness, and then it's gonna come down to you should have never drafted him.
Well, that was kind of the follow up that I had, which let's take that hypothetical. Let's say Carson Wentz plays well. Well enough to keep the job, but not well enough to take the Vikings to the playoffs. So you get this 8-9 season. It's Carson Wentz. JJ McCarthy looks like they gave up on him after 2 games. We're firing everybody, right? That is absolutely
Luke
everybody's got to be out of here. This is an insane mismanagement of resources.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Did you really expect Carson Wentz to come in and be what he is? So does that go down and man, look at the way they just find these guys. They find that talent that nobody thought they could have anymore. And Sam Darnold.
How Kyle Shanahan could turn any quarterback good except the one they drafted in third overall.
Now Kevin O'Connell's the same way.
Correct. Maybe Kevin O'Connell has that. Let's stop drafting quarterbacks. Let's just keep finding guys on the street that are somewhat alive. If he has a pulse, Kevin O'Connell can make him a throw.
You want to say, guys?
Wait, the 2026 version of Phillip Rivers, whoever that turns out to be.
Exactly. So, Aaron Rodgers, when he's done with the Steelers, is he going to end up here? I just think Matt Stafford, he's on his last leg with the Rams. Kevin O'Connell's sitting over there oh yeah, let's do this.
Tua's retiring.
Tua needs to stop.
We're all
worried about you too.
Or do they just wait
making fun of you
3 more years and draft Sangapula Tele from Cal because he'll be ready to come out in about 3 years and they can get him probably in the 2nd or 3rd round. Is there a Jalen Hurts in the 3rd round that they're going to find? There's so many question marks to this. But here's the thing I go again with JJ McCarthy. I truly don't believe they're giving him an offense that is easy. I think they're trying to make this offense super complex and, he has full autonomy of the offense. He can check out of any play. And He's not Sam Darnold. Like, he's not Kirk Cousins. Like, give him time to get there. Like, let him just throw hitches and slants. Like, if you watched Michael Penix, he threw a ton of like slants and quick stuff against the Buccaneers. Like, it was quick slants to Bijan Robinson, quick slants to Drake London, quick slants to Pitts, simple 12-yard over routes to the tight end. Where is that? And TJ Hawkinson, like, what in the All-American route was that? Like, I don't know if you guys have watched All-American, the TV show on USA, but Spencer James is the receiver.
Because I saw a clip and I was like, not.
It's okay. Like, I like random ass TV like that, so I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But if you just put in Spencer James routes or Spencer James ass routes, just put that in Twitter. There's a ton of jokes about Spencer James, the main receiver. I think season 4 or 5, they actually hired a pro receiver. I think it was one of the Commanders receivers. He was on the practice squad, I think. So they hired him to come in and run the routes because I saw him posted on Instagram. And then everybody was like, I knew it. I knew he didn't get better at routes because like season 4 and 5, we was like, oh, he out here with this hot fire. And then dude post on Instagram.
They found an NFL body double? That's actually pretty.
Yeah, they found an NFL body double receiver for the Commanders, and they had him running routes. And so right away, like I said to my wife, I'm like, oh, this dude actually is running routes now. Because I used to always like talk trash about it. And she'd be like, stop pointing that out because I didn't notice that. And then she'd be mad because now she notices the bad routes. And so, like, that's what happens is like, but like, and so somebody posted TJ Hawkinson's like, I don't know, everybody saw it, the dig route or the quick in.
It was lumbering.
Yeah, it was a quick in. But here's the problem. It was a good fake. It was a good route. He just ran it 3 yards outside of the linebacker. So if you're to the right of the linebacker, why are you faking out to run an in? You're already outside of him. So in his mind, he's like, if he runs out, I'm just going to chase. You ran right to him. Even if he stepped 1, you're still 3 outside of him. So his step 1 and now your step 2 only adds 2 yards of ground gained. You got to get on his toes, then jab, and then go in. And I don't know if that comes down to lack of practice.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's lack of
stem choice at.
Yeah,
you
you
still Trey Wayne's
correct. Step on his. I was just always taught step on his toes. So if the DB's inside, keep running inside. If he keeps going inside, boom! Now your out route is super easy because he's giving you all the leverage. If you have an in route, step on his toes, eye him up, boom, and then go in. You cannot run an in route from 3 yards outside of a guy ever. You're taught that in middle school football. Like get heads up on him, eat up his cushion. And again, that comes down to lack of training camp maybe together, lack of practicing. Because TJ Hawkins, that route did not look crisp. Like it just look good. No. It looked like how a coach draws it up on the whiteboard. Like here's the end, jab right, And so I just wonder like how much of that too is affecting JJ McCarthy. Like these guys aren't getting open for him. There's not a lot of separation for him. And I haven't really seen any choice routes by the slot receiver. I know normally that's Jefferson with Addison outside or Thielen, but Thielen's new. So yeah, I don't know. I'm concerned that it's not just JJ McCarthy. Like I feel like there's more to this than putting it all on McCarthy.
I mean, like the one where JJ thought he had a free play that turned out to be an interception. That was an illegal shift on Thielen. You take a look at what happened there. Thielen is like talking to Jalen Naylor.
Yeah, he like doesn't think the snap is coming.
Yeah, like that's like sure, maybe there's a good chunk of that's on McCarthy, but like a lot of that's because Thielen is like pretty new to this version of the offense.
And I wonder too, like what was the play clock at? Because if McCarthy knows like I got to snap this here, and Thielen's like, man, what are we doing here? Like. Like that's the worst feeling is breaking the huddle and you don't know what to do. Like you break the huddle. I've been there before where it's like, oh shoot, what do we got on this? Like what? And you're asking it like what is this? And he's like, oh, it's 444. You're the inside 4. Okay. Like it's just like super
backyard football
when
going
you
on.
all have the same route.
So if you're the inside, so here's the thing. So Florida was a route that the coach used to run, and it looks like an F. So they would run Florida and Florida reverse, which is basically 44. So it's 2 digs on the backside. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the inside guy has the deeper one and the outside guy has the shorter one. And then sometimes the inside guy has the quicker one and the outside guy has the deeper one. So I mean, that happens. Like if you have 888 or 878 and the inside guy has the corner route, outside guy has the post, there's little things where you're like, are you over the top or am I over the top? Like, or if it's double shallow, or who's like Travis Kelce absolutely decapitated Xavier Worthy because he didn't know who had the top route of the double digs or the double shallows. And he admitted later on his podcast it was his fault. He was like, yeah, I'm supposed to set the depth at 5 yards. I don't know what I was thinking. Little stuff like that is what can literally knock a guy. I mean, is Worthy back? I'm pretty sure he's back, right? Is he back playing or no?
Questionable this week. Sounds like he was limited yesterday in practice.
Okay.
Sounds like he's
but little stuff like that is what probably Thielen wanted to make sure he didn't end up doing. Like, I don't want to run the wrong route. I don't want to Jalen Reagor this thing and get, an INT for a touchdown. Like, there's so much to it. So, yeah, I mean, and Thielen's new. The terminology is not always the crispest. I mean, honestly, that John Gruden clip of him and Chris Sims is actually true. It sounds like that in the headset. And I just learned to block out all the scat and all that crap because I'm like, that's not for me.
That's a protection. That
had nothing to do with me. I'm just waiting for that last part of like Zorro, Z out, Y. Okay, yep, that's all we need to know. Let's go. Like
the life of a receiver.
I don't care about scat left, shift, and all that. Like, nope. Give me mine. All right, trio left. Yep, there we go. Trio left bunch. All right. What? 383? Got it. Boom.
I do think it's hilarious when you watch people breaking the huddle and some of the receivers sometimes are just the first ones to just start trotting out. Like they're only halfway through the play here. Why are 3 people already running out of the?
Because they heard 383 and they're like, "Yep, all right, we got it. We got 383. I don't care about the rest of this."
The kill is a run play. You figured that out. Great.
Yeah, right.
Kill to 46 counter. Bet. Yep. Okay. If you can, if you can. All right, we're blocking. All right.
Just hit somebody. Find somebody, hit him. That's all you got to do.
The worst I've heard from guys now, because we didn't really ever kill to a pass play that was hard. We would kill to like a quick. So we would kill to like Husker, which was all hitches, or we kill to Otto, which is all outs. Some of the ones I can't say because Peyton Manning used to use some weird words. But those are easy. I've heard lately now they'll do like 2 full plays to kill. Like they'll kill like scat left, Y shift, Z shallow, something X over. And then they'll say kill to like Z shallow. I'm like, no. Don't do that.
That's 1,000,000%. That's what Kevin O'Connell's doing.
That could be it.
It's more common across the league that they call 2 full plays.
You can't kill to that. Because I'm like, dude, I don't even like fully got the first one. And then you're going to, so, and I think what they say too is like, like he'll repeat it just for receivers, like 383 kill to 484. Boom, break. So now instead of outs, you got digs because he's just saying, hey, they're in quarters, so I need to run the digs now instead of the out routes that I was hoping for if I had cover 3. I'm like, if that's the case, that's easier than what a couple got, like Darius Butler. He's tapped in, and a couple guys have told me it's full on double play, and that could screw it up too, Luke. So.
I think that's part of the issue here with McCarthy is that operationally there's just so much put on his plate, and then you come out of the huddle late, and then the play has emotion in it. So now you have to figure out immediately whether you're not going to kill the play or run the play because the motion is going to take up the rest of the play clock, and it's just a lot to handle at once.
Yeah, only one way to get better at it.
Mm-hmm. How many times do you think Randy Moss at Marshall just got out of the huddle and said, "I don't know what you said, but I'm going deep." No idea what you said, dude. No, I'm going that way.
I think he bought. Didn't Moss say something like that too? Like he would. Was that with Randall Cunningham? He would just be like tap his helmet, like I'm going deep.
Yeah,
I feel like he said something like that.
If he figured out he was 1-on-1,
he was like, screw that play.
This guy's
hey, I'm going deep.
Hey, whatever you were doing, that sounds beautiful, but I'm doing this.
I'm 1-on-1, and I'm going to run into the end zone. You do with that what you want.
You're right.
Those 19 sentences you just.
I mean, honestly, if I'm a quarterback and I got Randy Moss and I'm running and I see 0, there's no way I'm running whatever we're running. Like we're going deep. You give me 0 or Randy. That's what Tom Brady did. If you watch back to a lot of those touchdowns Randy Moss caught that were deep balls, Tom Brady comes to the line, looks over, and I guarantee if they were like close ups, he probably has like that grin on his face, like what's it, the Grinch? Okay, yep. You win.
They're
0.
blitzing.
You win 0. And even if you don't blitz, but you put your safety so close up to the line that he has no chance of getting back to help.
Not a race
it's a race now. And so I would never put 8 guys at the line of scrimmage, knowing my safety has over the top help of Moss. No, you can't do that. That's dumb. But that's the reason why so many quarterbacks I think JJ McCarthy will get to that. If I have Justin Jefferson, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to manipulate the defense to know where Justin Jefferson is going to be best at, because that's the only way I think he has success when he comes back.
Last one for you, Ron. Looking at this Bengals matchup here, which fan base should be more excited about this quarterback situation in the next few weeks? Jake Browning, Carson Wentz, like which one's in the better situation, I guess, heading into week 3 and beyond?
So the two fan bases, I would personally say right now, I feel like the Vikings. Now, Jake Browning did come in and throw, 241 yards, 21 for 32.
Fourth quarter Flores killer. Yeah.
2 TDs, 3 interceptions, 1 sack, 69 passer rating. Here's the thing, 3 interceptions. So the fact that Jake Browning already has 3 interceptions, like that to me is a little bit more of a wild card than the Vikings with Carson Wentz. I don't know if Carson Wentz is gonna Carson Wentz is thinking in his head, like, let me not screw this up because I have these weapons. Jake Browning is like, ooh, I have these weapons. Let me get loose. It's just two different mindsets of age and where they're at in their career. I think Carson Wentz is going to be a little bit more protective with the ball. I would, if I'm the Vikings fans, here's the problem though. So many injuries on the Vikings, like 20% of the Vikings team is on, or 25%, I think. It's like 20 or 25% is on the injured list right now. Like it's on the injury report from this week. Like that's a little nerve-wracking.
I think I saw someone on Reddit say that if everyone who was on the injury list was on the field, it'd be too many men in the huddle or something like that.
I mean, it's literally like 20 to 25% of the team came up on that injury list. And so and you look at concussion, you look at ankle, you look at wrist. I mean, it's just like, man, like what is going on? And so it's the walking wounded right now. So that's the other reason why I don't know if it's just the quarterback fan base. Like if I'm the Bengals, I'm probably a little bit happier because we're healthy at least. Vikings fans, it's like, well, you have a quarterback that, like, I mean, honestly, too, look back if they had not gotten Carson Wentz, how would we feel right now? Like if you
had Sam Howell hours, and we'd be like,
well, Sam Howell, right?
Was a lie.
Like if you had Sam Howell and that's what we were going into this next 3 weeks, I think everybody would be saying the sky is falling.
Well, yes, also, and I hate to defend Carson Wentz here, but here we go. But also,
I hate what this year has done to you, Arif.
I know it's so
You're
bad.
unrecognizable.
But like we would feel this way had JJ McCarthy accepted the higher guarantee from the Vikings and stayed with the Vikings, and would be like, man, we are so cooked, we're roasted, we're filleted. Look at what Daniel Jones has done over the past couple of weeks. So I don't know, man. Kevin O'Connell is weird. Football is weird.
Oh, you mean if Daniel Jones was here?
Yeah.
No, Daniel Jones looks really good right now.
Yeah,
like,
Danny
and Cam Bynum has an interception in every game. Like that's nuts.
That rules for
and I
him,
hope it keeps
man.
up.
Yeah.
Like that's nuts.
That, dude.
If he ends up with like 10 interceptions, that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. 3 picks already. And again, I don't know if the Vikings had opportunities to get picks this year. Like I don't even, because I'm not gonna say guys have dropped them. Like I just don't feel like they've had opportunities. Like I just feel like either Penix has gone to the right guy, and game before that, like it just wasn't there. Caleb Williams, it wasn't really there. I think maybe one guy dropped one in his lap. But yeah, it's crazy that Cam Bynum has more interceptions than the Vikings have turnovers this season. Like,
Ron, how jacked up are you
Ben
for?
Ginkel almost had one. That's the one.
Ron, how jacked up are you for Chad Powers coming out on Hulu? Chad Powers. They made a show about the bit Chad Powers.
Yeah.
Is that your style though? You said you're kind of like,
I mean, I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it if I have nothing else to do. I'm not searching for it. Like, is it on Apple TV?
I think it's Hulu.
Hulu. Okay, I'm not searching for it, but if it pops up, I'll watch it.
I
miss. Forget Chad Powers. I wish they had brought back. What was it?
Kenny Powers.
Yes. Southbound and Down. Eastbound and Down. Yeah, Kenny Powers. I had never heard about Kenny Powers and Spice Adams. I was in Chicago, and one night, the wives, we were all hanging out, and he popped that on while we were just playing cards. And Kenny Powers is hilarious. Like he was hilarious. Like Chad Powers, I get it, but I'm like, are they doing the bit where Chad Powers is a fake dude being old and actually playing?
It's my understanding
he's a fake dude I don't think he's old. It's the dude who starred in Top Gun most recently, the new Top Gun. But so he's not old. He's not like an older guy.
Yeah, he's not like a
a
former
freshman.
NFL quarterback.
But they definitely got him in the makeup and everything.
So he just
I don't know
came
if-
back. He's just an older guy
Maybe he
coming
didn't
back to
have any
college to play or something like that.
left. I guess I don't know the background. But
It sounds like from like the trailer that like he had failed at a couple of stops and was like this golden kid, and it just never kind of materialized. But I don't think he ever went to the NFL because he never materialized as a golden kid.
Got it. So not
So
a
he
true
goes to
Eli
trials.
Manning thing.
Yeah,
But kind of, okay.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell.
Yeah. Every time I see the Eli Manning one, though, I wish they had let that go a little longer. Like, see how long these players would have like really thought that
My
was
favorite
Eli.
is still the
6
Jared
weeks into
Goff
the Penn
one.
State season, like he's starting, he's out
Yeah,
there.
right.
His nose is falling off a little bit. Like,
Like, just
I-
have him come to training camp. Like, come into training camp, like, and then be like, yeah, sorry, guys.
The
He's not
Jared
coming.
Goff one, I think it was like at Riverside Community College in California.
Yeah.
that's
That
right.
one is my favorite. That one is outstanding because Jared is a dick the entire time. He's just mean to all of them.
Oh, yeah. He's like, who's the starter? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were the punter.
check him out each and every Tuesday. Ron Johnson Show. Give him a follow on X at 3Ron Johnson. Ron, great stuff per usual. Thanks for stopping
Appreciate
by. We'll catch you on the postcast after the Bengals
Appreciate
game. All right.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Ron Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure, again, give him a follow on X at 3Ron Johnson. What's the running game going to look like? No Aaron Jones. He's on the IR. Jordan Mason and Xavier Scott. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, today's episode also brought to us by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, now with more than 10 million members to date. For me and my money, it's just by far the easiest, most exciting way to get in on all the action. While you watch your favorite sports, you watch your favorite players. It's so simple, too. All you got to do, you pick more or less on 2 or more players' stats. You watch the winning roll in football season starting to heat up now. Week 3 could be anytime touchdowns, receptions, tackles, sacks, you name it, they got it. Take your pick on more or less. Add them to your Prize Picks entry today. Plus, don't forget, Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay, quick and easy deposits into your account all season long. Right now, download the Prize Picks app. Use code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, any $5 lineup, you're getting $50 instantly with promo code LOCKEDONNFL. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, jumping right back into it. One thing that can help who's ever under center for the Vikings, any resemblance of a running game here. Aaron Jones tweaks the hammy last week. He hits the IR. Ty Chandler still hurt. CJ Ham still hurt. So welcome Jordan Mason, Xavier Scott to the center stage.
Let's go, Xavier Scott.
Start with a positive. Anything improve? What do you think actually improves? What do you think Jordan Mason does better than Aaron Jones that he can bring to the table, bring to the offense? Let's start.
Jordan Mason's one of the
Quite a
leaders
bit.
in yards after contact per attempt. Like I think he only has like 1 broken tackle technically, but like watch the games, he clearly has more. He's got great contact balance. He's got a little bit more burst than I think a lot of people expect from a power back. I think he's really versatile in that sense. And I think it's just that the ability to kind of produce despite kind of whatever situation that you're in. That's kind of the positive. But to me, the question is less about Aaron Jones versus Jordan Mason and more, is Christian Darrisaw back and how good is Michael Jurgens going to be? Like those are bigger questions to me about how the running game is going to perform than either of these two backs, because I think the fan base has kind of overreacted to Aaron Jones's underproduction. I understand why that's happening, right? Like he is underproducing versus Jordan Mason, but these are small samples. It's the running game is literally a game of runs. And it just takes like a couple of kind of bigger plays here and there to kind of flip the narrative. I don't have any lost confidence when it comes to Aaron Jones and his capabilities, but I do have a lot of lost confidence when it comes to Michael Jurgens and Walter Rouse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Very interesting 2024 draft moments going on this week. I don't see much about Aaron Jones's performance that like concerns me, but Jordan Mason has just looked faster. He's bursted through the holes a little bit quicker. And he's stayed healthy, which was kind of the thing we talked about in coming into this season, was like, what happens when Aaron Jones gets hurt and Jordan Mason looks a little better, here is that opportunity. So I could kind of see if this goes well for Mason, I could kind of see them making a switch of who is RB1, and we kind of say, okay, well, Aaron Jones, your shelf life as a running back has ended. That's how it goes.
Christian Darrisaw, full participant yesterday at Wednesday's practice. Trying to, before we get out of here, see the injury report for Thursday, but feels like he's headed on the right track. I know we talk all the time about just how good this guy is, right? But more so the passing game than anything. How much can he bring to the table? How much will he bring to the table in the running game? It's like Danielle Hunter. We always used to talk about, great pass rusher. He was so dominant, so good at stopping in the run, though, as well. Christian Darrisaw, how much can he help the running game on that left side?
I think the backups have struggled a lot less in the run game, so it's less of like a dire thing.
Yeah.
Like there are some good Justin School blocks in the run game. I know people are going to like dox me for saying that, but like there were a couple. But so it's
I would
about
never encourage people to dox you, Luke Braun.
Never.
Let's get you have one principle.
Not on a recorded line. I have many principles.
True. Hear that, big brother?
I'll go.
For me, it's much more about the pass, but like, yeah, man, a Darrisaw Donovan Jackson double. Hopefully, it helps Donovan Jackson a little bit too, stunt pickups and figuring out run stunts and stuff. Hopefully, it can help them deal with that. And then what they love to do with Darrisaw is run mid zone his way, so he can like kick out an edge rusher. And they, I think, have been preferring to run that to the right. So now they can run it a little bit more both ways and have a little more diversity.
The only three with DNP did not practice: Ryan Kelly, JJ McCarthy, who we know is out, and Justin School, which again, if you get Darrisaw back, that alleviates that problem right there. Obviously, we've talked at length about, the drop off from Ryan Kelly to Michael Juergens, the situation, the problems that kind of unfolds, I guess, with the quarterback and backup quarterback now at this point. But which guy, a lot of limited: Grenard, Donovan Jackson, Theo Jackson, Harrison Smith, Van Ginkel sounds like he's also headed towards the right direction to start this week. Which guy that didn't play last week are you most desperate to get back this week?
Besides Darrisaw, probably Gink.
Yeah, probably Gink, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't have much to add to that. That guy rules.
No, that's fine.
Does Grenard
That's
count,
my
or
numbers.
because we didn't actually lose him, but he's limited with that
Well,
oblique.
he lasted for one whole play, Luke. Come on, don't.
For
a
one
big
whole
play.
play. That's
It's a big play.
That's true.
How about Harry? What do we? What's the bar with Harry? Like, obviously, we know getting long in the tooth, not the same Pro Bowl Harrison Smith per se that we got used to, but still, obviously, just from even just a pre-snap communication back there in the secondary, just being that veteran, that leader, that captain.
I've defended this defense on this podcast last week. We had a very lively discussion about it, but areas where the defense can improve is in cohesiveness, right? And having someone like Harry back there is going to help with that cohesiveness, because it's like, hey, you're very caught up in your blitz paths, and because of that, there's some holes in the run game. Okay, so I think the best way to think about this is that, Ivan Pace is just kind of like a force to be unleashed, and that's not necessarily always a good thing, and it needs to be directed. And so I think Harrison Smith might kind of help direct
the raging bull in the right direction.
Yeah.
Having Eric Wilson next to him too, like really, really sells him out when he like will shoot a gap from the backside and try to chase something down.
Yeah.
When that's Cashman will do a better job of like recognizing, that dude's going for a play. Let me just be somewhere so that we can just kind of hem this.
Pace is on his whatever he's on, so I got
to.
There that man goes again.
I'm not going to do it, but what happened a lot, I did a whole Patreon video at patreon.com/LukeBrownNFL about the run defense, and a couple of the big culprits were, one, D tackles just getting like washed. That sucked. But two, some of it was Eric Wilson getting like pressed out of his gap, but like one head fake by Bijan Robinson, and then suddenly you're in the wrong place and there's an escape hatch. And so even though Ivan Pace has shot a gap, swum a guard, did something really cool, now he's chasing and he's out of where his gap was in the first place. So suddenly, and Javon Hargrave is 10 yards downfield, so he's got to suddenly make like the equivalent of an open field tackle in a B gap, and he's going to miss. So I found myself being a little more forgiving to Ivan Pace, not every time for sure, but I found some of those situations being like, man, he kind of made a really cool play and almost did something there. And if somebody else had like done a better job of keeping their gap integrity
contained a little bit,
then maybe that play looks cooler.
He's like throwing a flashbang, right? It'll screw up a lot of things, but you have to follow up. right? Like you have to, like it doesn't work on its own. Someone has to get back into the room after you throw the flashbang.
Where'd you learn that?
I played a lot of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I think that's it's okay for me to say that.
So we approve. We're excited to get Harrison Smith back. If that is
100%.
Week 3, 100%,
Yeah.
right? No doubt. Final segment coming up. Biggest matchup to watch on Sunday versus the Bengals, plus our weekly gambling picks. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, today's episode also brought to us by BetterHelp. You know, your schedule gets packed. Work projects, more, whatever it may be. It's easy to let your priorities start to slip, even when we know what makes us happy. But when you feel like you got no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy, they become more important than ever. If you've been thinking about starting therapy, time to give BetterHelp a try. Entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do, it's so simple. You fill out a brief questionnaire, you get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Go visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon today. You're getting 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. All right, final segment here. Save the best for last. Preview with the Bengals this Sunday at the Bank. The Boom at noon. Finally, just a normal noon game at home we can enjoy before. Oh, we got to go off to Europe over the pond for the next 2 weeks. But I want your number one key matchup. Simplify. Just pick the number one thing on your mind. The one thing you're looking at right now. The thing that's sticking out the most. I'll start for me. Secondary tackling was pretty weak last week versus Bijan. Bijan getting in the second level, giving him all sorts of fits. It felt like this week he got Chase Brown. He's no joke either. You get Jeff Okudah back, it sounds like, which hopefully helps in the run department at least a little bit, maybe a little improvement from what they had back there last week. Boundary tackling, second level tackling. Just don't want to give Jake Browning 2nd and 5, 2nd and medium, 2nd and short to work with all day. So that's got to be better. That's one of my keys to the game versus the Bengals. Reef, what do you got?
I mean, it's still the secondary, but it's the secondary versus the quick game, which is kind of what the Vikings are kind of deciding to invite. Jake Browning, more than Joe Burrow, who probably should invest more into quick game type play, loves the quick game. Absolutely, one of the fastest times to throw in the NFL. And has whenever he's played with Cincinnati. Loves throwing to these big body slant type receivers, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, kind of built for it. And the Vikings are kind of not built for this specific problem, because while the scheme tends to invite quick throws because they don't gain as many yards, it's not really as useful if both receivers are like 6'3", 220 and run 4.4. Mm-hmm. Like that's a problem now. And I don't trust like Isaiah Rodgers to bring down T. Higgins, you know? So that's my concern.
Yeah, Luke, what do you got?
Dino Fonteno in the chat took mine. Trey Hendrickson versus Walter Rouse.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty rough if that happens. And Trey Hendrickson versus a coming off an injury Darrisaw is a much more intriguing yet still just as vital matchup. However, I think if Darrisaw does play, I don't think he sees a lot of Hendrickson. I think the Bengals will put Hendrickson over Brian O'Neill if Darrisaw is in, but if he's not, they're going to put him right over the young guy and say good luck.
On to our weekly gambling picks. Luke, you kick us off last week. I think you went 2-0, so you're on absolute fire, sitting at 2-2 on the year.
I
did. What is on
2-2 on fire? Yes,
on fire.
What we do here is we overreact to 500 records.
What is on the docket this week? What's your lock of the century this week?
Lock of the century of the week. Let's go.
What do you
got? I am going to take a weird one. Maybe I'm just feeling my oats way too much, but I feel like this is something Carson Wentz is going to want to try, and it's something that has been wide open. I can't talk about it enough. Jalen Naylor is destroying everyone. He's like second in the league in separation metrics right now.
Ooh, oh, by the way, related to that, we don't have a nerdy stat because that's a Monday segment, right? I don't know how the show works.
Just do it.
Jalen Naylor has the highest average max speed on routes.
Wow.
Any receiver.
All he's doing is running goes, dusting people, and getting open for touchdowns.
Like Matthew Golden and Xavier Worthy when he was healthy, and Like all of these like classic deep ball, they ran 4.3 or 4.2. Allegedly, Matthew Golden ran a 4.2. And all of these receivers that ran like 4.2, 4.3s are in the top 10, and Jalen Naylor is number 1. I find that interesting. I think a lot of that is because of route choice, because he's dusting people in the slot for go routes, and these other receivers are sometimes running real routes. But I think like it's interesting. I think it's so cool.
Yeah. A lot of it's like rail routes too, like that, like motion and then into a go. But I also kind of view Carson Wentz as the kind of guy that would be like, whatever, and like hook it up. So I'm going to take a Jalen Naylor longest reception prop over 16.5.
Over 16.5.
That is a -108.
-108.
And then I'll take whatever the smallest medium bet I can on that.
Smallest medium, because
Did
things
Sam
aren't
give you
confusing
the
at all
guidelines?
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love this new concept, Sam, if you're listening. Medium is in the 120 to 209.99 range. So you're going to go 120.
All right.
You're going to go
I will do
120.
120.
Century of the, or excuse me, lock of the century.
Lock of the century of the week. Come on.
Arif, what do you got?
Stone Cold lock of the century of the
Stone
week.
Cold. They're giving money away out here.
They're just giving money away. I'll take Ja'Marr Chase under 5.5 receptions. I think they want to run the ball a little bit more with Chase Brown. I think he averages 4.5 receptions in games where Jake Browning is playing. And some of those games didn't even have T. Higgins. And the Vikings defense is still like, I don't like the matchup, but the Vikings defense is still good. So I'm going to take the under on that. That's plus 104. Under 5.5 receptions, plus 104.
I was going to say, should be getting plus money on that, I feel like.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're psychotic. Unders are already just so tough to
it's going to be a
sit there and bet
crazy
on and
sweat. I'm going
watch.
to be so
But
mad.
let alone a superstar like Ja'Marr Chase.
Yeah.
Against
It feels-
the Vikings, who gave up like a
feels
wide
bad.
receiver over every week last week.
It feels
last
bad.
year.
I agree. But who are
They're
we
due.
if we don't embrace feeling
Jaguars were due.
bad?
They hit.
It's all Vikings fandom is, feeling bad.
The
What are you doing?
Jaguars
Small, medium, or large here?
the
You want
smallest
supersize
large.
that?
The smallest large.
Smallest large. 210 on that.
I got to run through these max bets while I'm at the top.
Have to.
Or near the top.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair logic. Hawkinson, dude, last time a backup came in, I'm thinking back to Dobbs versus the Saints. Hawkinson had like a career day, 8 catches, $140 at halftime. Hawkinson's due. Darisaw comes back. Maybe he doesn't have to stay in and chip as much. Hawkinson, 40 or more yards is at plus 134.
Oh, I like that.
I'm going to go the smallest large as well. What is that? 210. 210 on that. 210. Yeah, nobody knows. 210. And we're live. Sam texts me, don't have the app on my phone, but I want the over 41.5 for 150. And Ja'Marr
42.5 now.
Oh, so how does that work? So
so
42 and a half, right?
No, let's make him eat it.
I think that's life.
Yeah. That's how it rolls. And then
He
Ja'Marr
decided
Chase.
to take a vacation. That's on him.
Yeah, that's on him. Good. Ja'Marr
Punish him
Chase
for not podcasting.
under yards,
And enjoying
so
his life
under
instead.
69.5 at minus 114. Under 69.5. Minus 114. All right, I'm going to come back with Chase Brown over 13.5 reception yards at minus 114. That I'm going to do the smallest medium, 120. Back to you, Arif.
This betting system is so confusing.
Just wait until like 2028 what we're doing.
Every
Year it just gets
exacta boxes. I'm going to accidentally learn a lot about horse betting.
No, you
have to
actually
parlay
win
it with a horse,
if the last horse wins or loses. If the last place horse, you win. Okay.
You don't want to cheer for the horse you bet on. Actually, Sam, I don't. How does
They
this...
show, but they don't place.
I'm taking Jordan Mason over 73.5 at minus 114. I think my logic doesn't need to be explained. I think it's intuitive here.
Minus 114. Small, medium, or large?
You fries with that, man?
Upgrade that? You got the new McFlurry shake.
Is it wait? The machine's working? Are you sure? No.
It's probably good for us as podcasters to be practicing that language.
Yeah.
Never know.
I'll take the smallest medium.
Smallest medium 120. All right, got it. Yeah, week to week over here on the
No,
podcast
wait,
line.
120. What are you talking about?
Smallest medium is 120.
Is
120
yeah.
medium is
Oh,
120
wow.
to 209.99.
Wow,
the
that's
smallest
crazy.
of that.
Sam, this system is crazy.
I'm pulling out a couple of your fries from your bag right now. Okay, the smallest medium. All right, 120. Is that what you want? Sticking with it?
Yes, this is what I want. That's crazy. I hate it.
All right, Luke, back to you.
You know what I'm doing. Taking that Bengals money line.
Love it.
I didn't realize
What is
that max bets were also limited, like min bets were. So I can only do the max money line thing 4 more times, which makes me sad. I wanted to do it every week, so I'll do the soft maximum, which is the biggest. I'll do the 209.99 number.
No, it's 210.
209.99, and that is
Wait,
at plus 134.
He wants 210, right? Because that's the smallest large.
No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to
want
waste
the
a
biggest
large.
medium.
He wants to save a
the
large.
biggest medium. Okay.
Yeah, glad this could be less confusing. That's at plus 134.
Plus 134, 209.99. When's the Monopoly game come back? What do you guys got? I just need Boardwalk, dude. I just need Boardwalk. It's crazy, dude. I got 3 railroads. It's crazy. Oh, man.
What are you doing? Getting you into trouble? Pop the little thing.
You think Sam made it this far in the show? Do you think he's hearing
God,
this?
no.
Absolutely
No,
not.
God, no, he checked out. He's,
Someone from Locked On did, but it wasn't Sam.
Yeah. Somebody from Locked On definitely listening.
He's watching. What's he watching on the flight? Boogie Nights. He's like, well, I can't watch this at home. I gotta watch Boogie Nights now. If I'm
He's
ever
watching
gonna
the French romance Chocolat.
see it. He dies at the end. Don't ruin it. All right. Oh, as always, a lot of fun. Jacked up for Sunday. Huge shout out to all you guys, all the everydayers out there that always make us your first listen. All you guys coming in the chat with us from show to show. After this, go check out Luke Braun over on Locked On Vikings each and every day. Arif always killing it over at the Wide Left Substack. Go give him all your money if you haven't already.
Agreed.
Ron Johnson, the Ron Johnson Show. That's each and every Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. So close to 10,000 subscribers. And we'll catch you Sunday right after the game. Instant reaction right here. Join us for that. But until then, signing out.